Zach Duckworth defeated DFL incumbent Matt Little by 10 percentage points in the recent contest to represent Senate District 58, which includes Lakeville, Farmington, and southern Dakota County. I spoke with Senator-elect Duckworth this week, and I began by asking him why he thinks the voters chose him.
Well, first off, thank you, and I appreciate your time. Thanks very much for having me. I think very unique times called for a unique set of perspective and experience, and I think that's ultimately why the voters chose to support me and send me to the Capitol. As a member of the Minnesota Army National Guard, a first responder, a small business owner, a member of the school board, given all the unprecedented challenges that face us, I think folks realize this is somebody that's got some experience and perspective that will be of value at the state capitol. And I'm very thankful to them for that.
You and Senator Little both made the effort to run clean campaigns, which is a fairly unique approach in our modern political climate. Why was it important to you to try to focus on issues and not demonizing the other side?
Yeah, and I gave a lot of mutual respect to Senator Little for that. And my philosophy was always this: it does no good for the chair of the local school board to be speaking negatively about one of our local legislators, and vice versa, especially during a health crisis and a pandemic. We needed to be focused on the issues, our constituents, the voters, and what we could do for them, and how we're going to help the state forward, not continue to bicker. I shouldn't say continue, but not to bicker or negatively speak about each other. There were plenty of third-party entities that sought to do that for both of us anyway, whether we liked it or not. But the fact that he and I were able to kind of stay above that and engage each other respectfully and stay focused on the issues, I think was very important, and that's something I always respect him for.
So in answering my first question, you did run through your resume, which is striking. You National Guard, chair of the Lakeville School Board, head of a real estate team, a volunteer firefighter. You are going to be one of the younger members of the Senate. How does your variety of experience, what are you going to bring to the Senate?
I think I'll bring a perspective that is grounded in what young families are experiencing currently. I've got two little ones. My daughter's 4.5. My son is 2.5. Their names are Grace and Logan. And they're one of the reasons why I decided to run for school board when I did just a few short years ago. But having that perspective of a younger generation, of younger families, and I like to think of a business owner, will be something that the folks find valuable as we deal with such challenging issues right now as the education of our children and some of the restrictions that our businesses are facing. So having that perspective, being a part of that group of people, of constituents, of that demographic, and helping that influence and shape the policy and the legislation that we craft moving forward, I think will be hopefully very beneficial.
Your Republican colleagues certainly recognize your leadership potential, and it's demonstrated by the fact that they have put you on the Senate Republican caucus leadership team. Freshman senators already have quite a lot to learn, and you're jumping in now with both feet. Like I said, you're very accomplished as at your age. You're younger than what we're generally used to seeing here at the Senate. But is being this busy and this driven, is this just kind of how you operate?
I'll be honest with you. I'm driven by passion to serve, and that's what motivates me. And I kind of jokingly tell people the busier I am, the higher I tend to perform. And right now, there are no shortage of ways in which we need good people, leaders, to step forward and serve our state and our country and our communities. So that's why I've chosen to step forward and do what I'm doing currently. And I very much look forward to it. I'm extremely, extremely humbled by the fact that my soon-to-be fellow peers in the Senate would consider me to be a part of the leadership team. I can't tell you how appreciative and thankful I am for that opportunity. And I'm mostly appreciative of it because I feel it will help me learn that much faster, because as you mentioned, the learning curve is going to be extraordinarily steep, especially given everything that we're dealing with at the state level currently. So I look forward to it. I'm up to the task, but there's no shortage of obstacles that we're going to have to tackle head on.
Now, you've mentioned this, and in my reading about you, I have learned that education is very important to you. You were elected to the Lakeville School Board in 2019, and you are now the chair. Your children, as you mentioned, are not even school age yet. What prompted you to run for school board, and specifically, how will that experience translate to the Capitol, do you think?
Sure. So originally I graduated from Lakeville Schools, so I'm a product of the very school district that I have the pleasure of serving on the board on. And for me, it was about service to the community, making sure that we're continuing to provide fantastic education here in my hometown and in our schools. My daughter Grace actually has been enrolled in the district's pre-K program, going on her second year. So we've experienced, my wife and I both have experienced schools personally as students, and now we're experiencing it as parents as well. And so it was extremely important to us that we do what we can to positively contribute to that school district. And I think as far as how it's going to shape my perspective moving forward, this is probably the single greatest issue in which I feel that my perspective is uniquely situated to the task at hand. I mean, just this morning I was dealing with the issues that we're facing as a school board. And so to take that perspective, that firsthand knowledge, those relationships, and bring it to the legislature as we are debating how we're going to move forward as a state, how we're going to continue to try to provide fantastic education for our students while also trying to manage the incredible workload our educators are facing as a result of having to provide education in an unprecedented means. It's something I intend to put to use immediately at the state capitol. Community members, students, teachers, there are so many people right now that are just pouring their opinions, their feedbacks, their perspectives into us as local leaders right now in terms of what they're experiencing, what they desire, how it's impacting them and their families. And we need folks at the local level to listen, bring that feedback to the state capitol, and advocate for the necessary changes that are required to help us all get through this tremendously difficult time.
Senator-elect Zach Duckworth, I want to thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for having me.